Hello, welcome to Warframe. My name is Todd, also known as Major Mech, and this is, of course, Warframe. Last time, we kind of got to a bottleneck for how the Kubro couldn't really get any further because we don't have the resources needed to actually mature our Kubro. But in the future, we will definitely get those. For now, though, we are working our way across Mercury so we can effectively complete the Mars Junction. And I'm just going to dive right into it. We just have to do a capture. Actually, you know what? Let's go solo for these. Just so I don't have to worry about other people kind of getting in our way. So we're just going to complete Ilion and Suse, and then head over to the Mars Junction, and that should complete this episode. Not a whole lot to talk about. Oh, I could talk about the deal that they were having for
You are here on a
Tenocon.
capture mission. You must find, capture, and extract our target.
I will talk a little bit about the Tenocon event that they are doing right now, which will have been completed by the time I put this episode out, and I'm sad if you did not get it, but there's nothing I can really do about that. Effectively, there is something cool that they're doing, and it's a good reason why you should always be watching out for the news for Warframe.
Target located. Bring them in.
They do, of course, have an
We
app
cannot let our target know we're here. Track them down quickly.
that you can download for your phone, which tells you about all the stuff going on in Warframe. Totally worth it to have that. Check it every now and then if you haven't played in some time. Just because there's lots of cool stuff you can get from promotional offers, such as the free Prime with Twitch Prime, the Trinity. And
Excellent work. We'll interrogate
there
the
was
captive
a
back at base.
Frost,
Your
actually,
part is done here, Tenno.
before Trinity. I'm not sure who they did before that, but effectively always keep on top of that sort of stuff because the promotional offers are great. They get you lots of good, rewards and Warframes, and even some weapons I've heard. Just a lot of cool stuff. I know that at one point there was a promotional offer for a Vectis, which is the sniper rifle that I showed off previously, and it even came with a catalyst already installed, so that's a nice little thing. So it's always good to keep an eye out for those promotional activities if you're actively playing Warframe. Always good to have your head on a swivel, that is. Oop. Dodge that guy. I'm just gonna nope out of here. Look at all that. Well, you know what? I can show off discharge a little bit, maybe, if they'll let me get close enough. And kill anybody? Not really. I think I killed one guy. Later on, discharge is much more powerful in large groups of enemies like that, but we really don't have the mods to make it any good right now. Alright, so in between these missions here, I will quickly talk about the cool reward you can get if you watch the Tenocon stream. And come on, loading screen. I hate the loading times. Alright, awesome. So if you paid attention to the news over here in this little panel here, you know that if you watch the Tenocon stream for 30 minutes, you can actually get Ash Prime for free. So if you hadn't already done that by the time this is out, that's a real big shame. Really should have done that if you had the chance. Always worth it to every time you log into Warframe, or even if you're not, like I said, with the mobile app, just check it every now and then. It's totally worth it. You get lots of cool prizes just from logging in alone. The login rewards for Warframe are pretty great. So, worth it. They really incentivize you to just check in every now and then if you don't play all the time. And really, really is worth it. Ooh, spy. Okay, so this spy might be a little bit more complicated than the previous ones. Not positive on that. I just realized we haven't encountered the boss for this area, for Mercury, and I may decide to come back and
Tenno,
show him off.
I need you to get inside enemy data vaults and retrieve crucial intelligence data.
I'm not positive if I will show him off right away, since our main focus is, of course, the Mars Junction not the boss of this, not the boss of Mercury, but I may decide to show him off. Might be a little bit of a blast from the past. Of course, I'm just referring to the assassination mission on Mercury. On every planet, there is an assassination mission. Man, that guy was just oblivious. This guy's even more oblivious.
The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands.
Not the brightest people, these Grenadiers. However, every planet has a boss, and
If you trigger the alarms
every
now,
boss has
the enemy will
good
start
drops,
destroying
such
data.
as weapon blueprints or Warframe blueprints. It is extremely worth it to... Oh no. That's not good. So, I had talked about this before, and if you watched those episodes, you might know who this is. We are getting attacked by the Stalker currently. The Stalker is a very dangerous enemy who attacks you in just normal missions after you get a mail from him, and here he is. We are going to do our best to stay as far away from him as possible. He is probably just going to destroy us in one shot, though. He has a tendency to do that. The biggest thing is just staying away. He can knock you down pretty good. Rolling is pretty beneficial. Blind firing is pretty good because he is invisible. Shoot. I'd really like him to go uninvisible right about now. Later on, we'll fight a Stalker that doesn't go invisible as much, and he's much easier to deal with. I don't even think our weapons can do enough damage to really be able to handle him right now. So we might just have to take a hit and call that good this time around. We're not really well equipped to deal with a Stalker incursion. And it's really kind of one hit and we're done when it comes to the Stalker. I really don't need these Grenadiers kind of dealing with me right now. So I can kind of get a read on where he is by shocking him. But that's only going to last as long as I have energy. I almost certainly do not have energy forever. Whoa, he is right next to us. Whoa. So one of his abilities is he can pull you towards him, which is a massive problem. Tends to do it when he gets stuck in places. But that doesn't necessarily mean he always does it when he gets stuck somewhere. Overall, though, the Stalker is just a pain in the butt. Honestly, if you're fighting him this early on, it's probably best to just avoid him. I'm just trying to give him the best shot I've got here. Come on, I know you're here. Oh boy, you do not want to get close to Stalker. His melee is ridiculously powerful. You really want to just tank him from range, but man, he's not coming anywhere near me, and he's not leaving his stealth at all. The best way to deal with this Stalker is to kind of try and bait him out of stealth down a corridor, so you can get a lot of hits in on him. But I don't think I'm going to get the chance. Alright, so he just charged that direction. I know he's right there. I can tell that he's very clearly right there, but I don't have the ability to... There we go. Plinked him. I'm half tempted to just kind of ignore him. Okay, so if he starts doing this attack here, you need to avoid his line of sight. That's effectively him readying his bow. His bow does a good amount of damage. Dodge rolling can also potentially avoid it. I think he's just gonna stand there. What? He's supposed to shoot his bow and just kind of snipe you here, but he doesn't appear to want to do that. I'm just kind of plinking him around this corner. really don't want to get in his line of sight, like I said, though. Typically, I never got this far with the Stalker. He typically just runs up and punches me and I die. I'm actually doing pretty okay. So that was kind of our damage phase. Now it's back to just running away like a coward. Trying to get him down a corridor if we're able. Without the stupid Grineer getting in the way. Downside is we will run out of ammo eventually. I don't have a steady way to refill my ammo in any capacity. Oh boy. Thankfully our good buddy Taxon decided to help me out there. Staying in one place, of course, is very detrimental to your health. Oh boy, he pulled me towards him. Not great. Let's see. Let's get out of here. So his main attacks are, well, pulling you towards him, knocking you over, doing that charge attack that he does, and doing the sniping maneuver that he was trying to do. All of them, if they hit you dead on, will do some massive damage and almost certainly kill you. So don't let him do that. Okay, so we got a little bit of ammo and a little bit of energy. That'll help us out. Oh man, I really didn't want to have to deal with this. I might try and speed this. Oh boy. He was right there. I know he's over there, but I just can't determine where. There he is. Okay, we are just plinking away at him here. Ooh, that was a good hit. If one of those arrows hits you, you're pretty much done. He does a ridiculous amount of damage, especially to low-level players, so ranging him here is a great option. Where'd he go? There he is. Oh yeah, headshot. I might actually be able to kill a Stalker. That would be surprising. I hadn't even ever had done this, killed this Stalker anyway on my main account before we encounter the second version of the Stalker. And yes, there are multiple versions of him. The second version is far more deadly. Well, actually on second thought, it's far less deadly. This version is far more annoying because of his invisibility. The second version of him kind of gets rid of that invisibility phase, which, honestly, I love. He really doesn't need the invisibility. He's already powerful enough as is. Ooh, that was a good blink. Alright, well, we're out of arrows. Come on, hit him. Okay. You do want to keep trying to get him because that shield of his will regenerate. You can tell, by the way, how difficult he is. Oh my god. Well, that is how you defeat the Stalker. Yeah, I honestly did not expect to beat him, and I didn't get a very good reward. If you see the Stalker in a normal mission, it's probably more advisable to just run away at this point. But that is how you can defeat the Stalker. Wow, I was hoping to show him off later, and that kind of ate up a lot of our time. I don't know if I'm going to have time to complete these missions, but we will try our best. Actually, I might make this a long episode just to make sure that I keep my promises of completing the Junction here. Let's see. Any bad guys here? No, no bad guys from the looks of it. No, but we do have a little line here. So these tripwires effectively will cause problems if you hit them yourself, but not if your Sentinel hits them. So you don't have to worry about your Sentinel hitting them. So we'll just slide underneath of it, go around, and we will stealth kill this guy. Hope that there's nobody else in here. Did get some ammo for a bow, which is good. We'll need that later. I I am just,
Data extracted. They won't
I'm
even
completely
know it's
out of it.
gone.
After dealing with the stalker there, I think I'll leave that entire fight in, because I honestly never beat him in this state before. Later on, there is a mission that will change how the stalker effectively works. We'll get rid of that phase where he's invisible, and make him probably a little bit more damaging, but overall kind of less scary, because that invisible phase is where he'll really get you. If he even blinks you once, like I said, he'll pretty much destroy you. So, honestly, I really didn't expect that this episode would go this way.
Have detected you.
I'm going to hope that I keep having as good luck when I'm going through this, because that was kind of impressive. We did also manage to get a sigil, which we'd gotten before, but this one's a special sigil. This is the Stalker's sigil, and I'm going to equip it. I am most certainly going to equip the Stalker's sigil, because I think it's cool. It'll show off that we bested the Stalker even in our, very weakened state here, compared to some players, that is.
You're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will start destroying the data.
I love how she says that and the alarm goes off. Of course, not the alarm for this area. So we gotta go through here. Annoying conveyor belt. Not super problematic aside from these laser barriers, though. Gotta make sure to avoid any lasers. And, of course, people seeing us will cause us problems. Oh, like that bot. That bot right there. So that is a sensor. If it sees us, we are out of luck. It will trigger an alarm, which will make it impossible, well, make it much harder for us to succeed without getting spotted. You can destroy them, but I would not recommend trying. They have a lot of HP and are kind of suited specifically for doing that. So that's pretty much how you'd get around one of those guys. There's no easy way into this room, sadly. I don't think. Not usually, anyway. It might be actually this way. Oh, no, that's the exit. You gotta go through that door right there, though, pretty much, for this room. And that sensor regulator is such a pain in the butt if you're not used to them. I'd highly suggest having a cipher if you're able to.
Excellent work. A clean extraction with no alarms.
The best way to deal with those bots is to either crowd control them by like making them unable to see you by preventing them from moving, or to just be invisible when around them. Killing them is an option, but if they do not die in one hit, they will set off the alarm. And I do mean one hit as in one massive amount of damage. I think I've actually had I'm not sure if it's a bug or just whatnot, just a weird quirk of how it is, but I've had them set off the alarm even when I've had a shotgun. So it has to be one continuous hit, at least. That's the way it was for me in the past. Honestly, I just don't even bother trying to kill them. They have too much health, really. Honestly, I've really racked my brain over how to deal with those, and just avoiding them is just the best way. Just the absolute best.
You're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will start destroying the data.
Easy peasy. So we got more of the regulators. Oh boy, he's coming up towards us. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one where we can go straight up, so I'm not even going to bother with being down here. We're just going to go up and down this glass. Heck with the regulators. Best to avoid them if possible. Those regulators
Data extracted. They won't even know it's gone.
in this room right now are not a
everything
problem.
we came for. Get to extraction.
In later spy missions, they become a big problem because that broken glass at the top sometimes does not exist in later spy missions. And you have to go through the front door, which means going past all those regulators. Spy missions kind of escalate as time goes on, not in a level of the enemies get more difficult or anything of that nature. While they do, the enemies are not the main problem in spy missions. Yeah, getting seen while trying to do them a spy mission is the main problem. Not gonna worry about any of these guys. Alright, we are done with that. I think we still have enough time to do the... Yes. So we barely have enough time to do the Mars Junction as well. We will save everything else for next time, but look at that cool Stalker sigil. It's very rare to get one of those, especially this early in the game, but if you can do it, killing the Stalker is somewhat good and somewhat bad. So he does have the potential to drop some weapons, which are massively beneficial. We didn't get one, we just got a terrible mod. Would have been much better if we'd gotten any of the weapons that he's capable of dropping, but we didn't. So, maybe next time. Which hopefully we won't run into the Stalker for some time, but you never know. In the meantime, we will do the Mars Junction real fast. Should be pretty simple. We will unlock all the stuff that the Mars Junction gets us, and we will call it an episode there. I was not expecting to fill this episode with a Stalker of all things, but sometimes just weird things happen. Alright. Who is the Spectre this time around? Frost. Alright, so Frost is of course, an ice warframe, and he tends to slow us down, so we're going to want to throw up our shield as quickly as possible. Use pretty much the same tactics we did before, but we're going to want to make sure to preserve that shield real good, because those frost attacks will mean pretty much the end of us. Thankfully with our Volt here, we got a massive advantage if we don't get plinked at the side. Let's throw up another shield. These shields, I don't know if I stated it, but Volt shields are impervious to any sort of... They don't have life, they just have a duration. So they will take any sort of ranged attack forever, which is really good, and it's extremely useful later in the game. But we've completed this junction, and we are heading towards Mars. Let's see. So the major thing we will be doing next time will be dealing with the quests that are unlocked from this junction, making our way across Mars to the other junctions that we can get, and that will be our major progress next time. Let's see, so...
Operator, is that a Void Relic segment? Ordis hasn't seen one of those in, well, forever.
So now we've unlocked Mars. We will work our way across Mars to the Ceres Junction and the Phobos Junction, the main one being the Phobos Junction, which will require us to open some Void Relics. We've done one previously. I've explained mostly how the Void Relics work, but we've now unlocked the Void Relic segment, which I will show off real quick.
Void Relics. What a baffling concept. Ordis will try to understand Void Relics again. They say the contents of a relic are simultaneously this thing, or this thing, or this thing, but also that thing, and certainly never just one thing. That is, until it's exposed to a void fissure. And at that point, all the possibilities collapse, each one falling away until the relic cracks open and exposes one singular thing. Then, against all tenets of logic, that thing becomes the only thing the relic ever contained.
What a load of...
Ordis prefers known quantities. Thank you very much.
So Ordis effectively just explained the process that the Void Relics are explained through. They're like a multi-dimensional container. I've shown off how they're opened and in what type of missions they're opened, and we will have to open more to unlock the Phobos Junction, and we will do that. It's not a big issue. Effectively, this segment is how you upgrade them. You can use Void Traces, which you get from opening relics, or alerts to upgrade them to increase chances of what item you will get from said relic. So if you're trying to get the best item, which would be the rare item versus the uncommon and common, you want to just go Radiant all the time and just use as much of your void traces as possible to upgrade your relics to get better stuff. The quality, the uncommon stuff tends to sell for lower amounts of ducats. The common stuff tends to sell for the lowest. Then it's the uncommon, which sells for a little bit more, and the rare sells for the least amount of ducats. Overall, that's pretty much a basic explanation of how void relics work. Like I said previously, they are mostly an endgame thing. We don't have to worry about them right now. We will be worrying about Mars next time, and making our way towards the next junctions, and completing the other quests we just got. But until then, goodbye.